Hello, I'm Mrs. Kozma. I'm your librarian, and today you guys are researchers. So let's get started.
Okay, let's start researching. We're going to start with credible sources. So, what do I mean when I say credible sources? Credible sources are ones you can trust to be accurate. They're reliable. Credible sources have already gone through an evaluation process by experts. Facts matter. The truth matters. Credibility matters. Being right has become more important than truth and facts. So, we're going to change that today. How are we going to do that? Well, this involves teaching students how to find accurate, valid, and credible sources. And I want you to know that this is not just a high school thing. College libraries do this as well. Purdue University, for example, has 803 credible databases that you would be expected to use as a student there. Let's take a look. So if I hit that link, it takes me to the Purdue University Library and School of Information Studies. And you can see right here, they have 803 databases. We are only going to focus on 2. We're using Opposing Viewpoints in Context and Explora. And the really cool thing about these 2 is that they can also be found at Purdue. So for 9th grade, that's definitely something to be proud of. Another thing, articles from these 2 credible sources are even cited for you in MLA format. For you. You don't have to do a thing. You have my permission to copy and paste. But for web pages you Googled, you have to cite it yourself. EasyBib helps, but it's not easy. It's tedious. You've been warned. In addition, you also have to apply the CRAP test to pages you found by just Googling it. Let's take a look at our 2 credible sources for this project. Opposing Viewpoints in Context and Explora. So how do we get to these? I tried to make it very easy for your class. You can access these databases a number of ways. You could start by going to the Lowell High School page and maneuvering your way there. Let me go ahead and get out of here for a second, and I am actually going to show you how to do that just in case. So we'll just type in Lowell High School. Make sure we choose the one that's in Indiana, not Massachusetts. And then you would go to Academics and then to Media Center. And then as you can see, English 10 has a project going on, and so do you guys. So the first one that we're going to start with is Opposing Viewpoints in Context. And Opposing Viewpoints in Context is actually one of my favorite databases that we have. I love the fact that it always shows both sides of an issue. So if you guys haven't chosen a topic yet, because I'm not sure exactly where you guys are in the project, you can go over here to this light bulb and you can click Browse Issues. And as you can see, there are so many issues that you can choose from. And when you choose from here, you get what I call the whole kit and caboodle page. I'm actually going to choose, let me see if it's on here. Yes, I'm going to choose animal rights. And when a page loads like this is what I call striking gold because you get everything. If your page doesn't load this way, it doesn't matter. You're still going to get plenty of resources, but topics like these are your biggies. I always say to start with the introductory article. So I'm going to go ahead and click here about animal rights. And there's all types of nifty little things that you can do. You can translate it, you can make the type smaller. If you're me, you can make the type larger. You can change the background color so that it's easier to see. You can actually even have it read it to you. You can save it in your Google Drive, download it, all sorts of types of things. One of the biggest things that I have to point out is you can't go up to the address bar and copy and paste that to save it to get back to at a later date. It's not going to work. And the reason for that is because we pay for this database and they don't want you sharing it that way. So if you want to link this to your project, or even if your teacher wants to put articles on their Canvas page, what you need to do is go over here where it says get link and copy that. That is the only link that will let you get back to this page. Otherwise, like I said, if you go up here and grab it and copy and paste it, when you go to find it later, it's not going to be there. It's going to say page not found. So please make sure that you do that. Another kind of interesting thing, let me see if I can find, let's say we didn't know what this word meant. So if I highlight it, I can go over here and click define, and it would tell me what a vegetarian is. I could also highlight it and make notes for myself as I go through these articles. These are not things that you have to do for this project, but I just want you to know these are some of the features that are available to you. We talked about the fact that we are going to cite these articles, so you can do that a number of ways. You can scroll to the bottom. We're using MLA 9th edition. It just happens to default to that. So there it is. You can copy and paste it. You can also just go right here where it says cite and click there, whichever way you want to do that. Okay, so let's go back and let's see what else this has to offer about animal rights. I like to think of this page like a suitcase. This is not one source. This is a suitcase that's holding about over probably 8,000 different sources if I were to go through everything. I might have overestimated that a little bit. We can start with our featured viewpoints, and there's 14 of those. For academic journal articles, we have 149. For biographies, we have 14. We have 93 audio clips, 33 websites that have passed the CRAP test. So if you get your websites from the databases, you don't have to put them through the CRAP test. We have 135 viewpoints, 3 infographics, 6,841 news articles. We have 16 primary sources and 86 images that we don't have to worry about copyright, 499 magazine articles, 99 reference material, 21 videos, and 16 statistics. Much more than you would need for your project. So there's just a wealth of information here. The other thing that I like is that everything is cited for you. I mean, everything. So if we wanted to look at an image, and let's see, I'm going to, these hurt me, but I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these and just show you. If we go to cite, there's your image. If we go to choose, for example, maybe we want to look at an audio clip, and I click on it, same thing. Now you've learned how to cite an audio clip. So this is a great way to get familiar with citing all sorts of different pieces of information, whether it's an article or a video or a website or a statistic, because it's all done for you. Another thing that you can do is use your advanced search. Let's say that I wanted to do animal rights. Oops. Let me get this. But I only wanted to focus on dogs. So I wanted to rule out everything else. So I'd go ahead and hit search, and let's see what that does. It definitely lowers the number of articles it brought back. But for example, if you look over here at news articles, 446, that's more than I would need for this project. So that is pretty much the ins and outs of opposing viewpoints. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next one, which is Explora. So I'm going to go back to the library's webpage. I'm going to scroll down to English 9 Research Project, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Explora. I'm going to stick with my same research term, which was animal rights. And I've already limited my text over on the left here to full text. If I took it away, you can see how that number goes up, but we want to limit it to full text. If you were writing a paper for college, you might have to pay for an article, but with 26,308 articles, I think we're good. Another thing you can do, let's say we don't want anything old. We don't want anything from 1936 unless maybe you were studying the history of animal rights. So let's go ahead and bump this up to maybe within the last 10 years. And let's see what that does. Okay, that brings me down to 10,000, but I think that's still pretty good. Other things that you can do if you wanted to, you could limit it to journals, magazine, books, things like that, but you don't have to. Explorer reminds me of opposing viewpoints because when you get the right search term, it does start with this topic overview. And like I said, I always say start with the topic overview to get some information. So if I go ahead and click on there, every article on here is gonna have different features. So you'll see it's very different from opposing viewpoints in that respect. Sometimes you're going to have to download the articles and you're not going to see them when they first open. So that's why I want you guys to come into the library and work with me, because I don't want you to click on something and say, well, there's nothing here. It's sometimes you just have to poke around a little bit more to find it. So once again, you could listen to it. There's all sorts of tools over here on the right. You can save it, cite it, get your permalink so that you don't lose it. And if we go over here and we click cite, you can see, like I said, we didn't just make this up. There are all different ways to cite your information for a academic paper. And we're using MLA, so there it is. And that is the one that you would go ahead and copy and paste. One of the things I want to point out is, look how many resources we have, over 10,000. So I don't want you to be lazy. You're a researcher. I want you to really dig deep. So maybe the first couple articles aren't the ones that are the best. You actually have to poke around in here and find the ones that are going to work the best for your project. If I go over here to advanced search, I could do the same thing again. I can type in animal rights and dogs and then go ahead and hit search. And if I click on this one, it's going to ask for the PDF full text. And sometimes they won't pop up like this. You'll actually have to click PDF full text, but this one actually opened up right away. So let me just go ahead and hit my back button. Let me see if I can find any others that might do that. Okay, let me try this one, ending animal use and medical education. Nope, these seem to be opening up for us, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes it'll open up with just a little explanation of the article, and then you are going to have to go over here and either click download or click PDF full text. And as always, don't forget about your other features over here on the right. Okay, that is Explorer for us. Finally, we need to talk about what happens when we just do a random Google search to find an article. When you do a random Google search, you have to use a web page evaluation tool such as the CRAP test. Well, what's the CRAP test? The CRAP test decides whether a web page is crap or not. How perfect is that? It actually does exactly what it says. The CRAP test stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Let me stress, if you use Google, you use the CRAP test, and you're going to use this CRAP test worksheet. So what you're going to do, because there are no exceptions, if you Google an article
you're going to grab the crop test worksheet that will walk you through evaluating currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. And here's how it works. For each section, you're going to give, for example, currency. You would give it a score between 1 and 10. For relevance, same thing. Score it between 1 and 10. Authority, same thing. 1 and 10, and so forth. So let's take a look at currency, and we'll kind of go through this one together. Currency is the timeliness of the information. Like, when was the information published or posted? If you look at it and it was posted in the 90s when the internet was invented, probably not so great. If it was in the last couple of years, I would give it a decent score. Has the information been revised or updated? Something else you need to look at. Is the information current or out of date for your topic? So you need to figure that in as well. And finally, are the links functional? So if you keep clicking around on the web page just to find one dead link after another, that means that they really don't keep up with their web page, and that wouldn't be a good score at all. So you're going to take all of those things into consideration that were listed under currency and decide if it deserves a score of 1, unreliable, all the way up to 10, meaning excellent. Is it just okay? Maybe you'll give it a 5. And then you're going to do the same thing with relevance, meaning the importance of the information for your needs. So you'll take a look at everything listed underneath, give it an evaluation, and score it. Authority, meaning the source or the author of the information. Accuracy, the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the content. One of the things to really look out for in this one is spelling, grammar, and typographical errors. If it's chock full of errors, I wouldn't trust it. And lastly, purpose, the reason this information exists. So once you have a score in each box, so maybe we have a 10 here and a 5 here and a 3 here and so forth, you're going to add them all up to get your total. Then you're going to look in this box to decide how well your page did. If it scored between a 45 and a 50, use it. It's excellent. If it scored between a 40 and a 44, good. I'd still use it. If it was a 35 to a 39 and it's just average, it depends. Have you really been struggling to find information? Then maybe, could you find something better? Maybe dig a little deeper. For that one, you might want to check with me or one of your teachers, and we can help you decide. If it's 30 to 34, then it's just borderline acceptable. Again, I would check with me or one of your teachers, and we can make that decision together. If it's below 30, there's just no alternative. You have to just toss it and start over and find a new article. So definitely below 30, not going to work. So once again, when you do a random Google search, you're going to use the crop test worksheet for every single article that you Google. So my advice to you as we wrap this up, question everything. Apply the crop test to everything you find on the internet. It's unfortunate now, but there are actually people who get paid to fool you and write articles that aren't true. I mean, that's their actual job. We're kind of living in a pretty weird time right now. So definitely, if you see it on the internet, just be a little skeptical. Check it, fact check it. That's kind of what we're all doing now in this day and age. There is a video here that only takes 5 minutes. I'm not going to play it, but if you're struggling with understanding the crop test, meaning what is it, why are we doing it, this is a really good video, and it's actually even has a little bit of humor in it. As much humor as we can find in research, but it is somewhat entertaining. So if you need a little bit more explanation, that's there for you. Well, people once relied on publishers, editors, and subject matter experts to check the information they consume. But, as we all know, the internet's unregulated, so all bets are off. But here's the good news. If you stick with the sources I showed you, meaning Opposing Viewpoints, Explora, and library books, you can skip the crap test and you don't have to do the worksheet at all. So keep that in mind. I know it's we kind of just want to go straight to Google, but this is the whole purpose of this lesson, is to show you that there are other sites out there that are more credible and the ones that you don't have to check and make sure that they're accurate. So keep that in mind. Okay, this brings us to the end. If you have any questions, please ask me. Ask me, ask me, ask me. It's my job, it's why I'm here. If you need help, I'll help you find evidence in a credible source. I'll help you navigate opposing viewpoints. I'll help you navigate Explora. I'll help you decide if a source is credible or crap, so we can go through that crap test worksheet together. And when we get to this point, I will even help you cite your sources in MLA format. We used to have a little bit more freedom during advisory, and you guys used to be able to come see me during advisory. I'm not sure how we're going to work that this year since things are a lot more strict than they used to be. But I will say that you guys have gotten really good about emailing me, and in fact, I even complimented your teachers. Your emails are very professional and nice, and I did not know that that is something that you guys actually learn in class, but I'm very impressed by the emails that you send to me. So that brings us to the end. Happy researching.